The top stories: China expresses readiness to support Horn of Africa in addressing challenges of security and development. And long-served diplomat says there is no any other country which national dialogue is more important than for Ethiopia at the moment. Hello and many thanks for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said preparations are underway to produce seedlings that will make a difference in history. The Premier tweeted that the upcoming rainy season will mark the 4th year of our Green Legacy initiative. Quote-unquote, seedling preparations are currently underway to enable us in meeting and exceeding our 4-year target, Abiy said. As part of the Green Legacy initiative, which was launched in 2019, 20 billion trees will be planted across the country over 4 years. So far, 4 billion seedlings were planted in 2019, including the infamous record-breaking 353 million seedlings in one day, while in 2020, 5 billion seedlings were planted and 6 billion trees were also planted in 2021. China's special envoy to the Horn of Africa, Zhu Bing, disclosed that China wants to support countries in the Horn of Africa to address the challenges of security, development and governance and pursue a path of unity and self-improvement. The special envoy made the remark on Monday during his meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Ethiopia, Demeke Mekonnen. The two sides conducted friendly and in-depth exchange of views on bilateral cooperation and major regional issues. On the occasion, Bing spoke about the initiative for peaceful development in the Horn of Africa that was proposed during the State Councillor's Wang Yi's visit to Africa. In connection with this, a special envoy underscored that Ethiopia should play a constructive role in promoting peace in the Horn of Africa, as it is an anchor state in the region. He also mentioned efforts to enhance railway and port developments in the region, commitments to the Belt and Road Initiative, and the FOCAC agreement to accelerate regional revitalization through development. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, for his part, applauded the long-standing relationship between the two countries and China's multifaceted support to Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Federal Police Commission has reached cooperation agreements with German Development Cooperation GIZ and Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance DCAF. According to the agreement, GIZ and DCAF will provide the federal police with forensic investigation technology tools and other supports, including capacity building areas. The agreement came at a time when the Federal Police Commissioner, General Demelash Gebre-Mikael, received EU delegation consisting of GIZ and DCAF teams tasked to provide technical assistance for security sector reforms in Ethiopia. Commissioner General Demelash Gebre-Mikael briefed the delegation on reform activities carried out security sector reform program to enhance capacity of the sector. He said the federal police is using up-to-date investigation technologies and has improved qualities of detention to protect human rights of suspected people under investigation. It is stated that a joint technical committee comprising members of the federal police, GIZ and DCAF will commence operation in Ethiopia. Having concluded its first ever General Assembly, the ruling Prosperity Party pledged to comprehend Ethiopia's socio-economic and political progress. The newly elected Vice President of the party, Adam Farah, said the conference was successfully completed, discussing various political and economic issues of the country. Johannes Fentahun has more on this.
Having finalized its first ever General Assembly lasted for 3 days, the ruling Prosperity Party pledged to realize Ethiopia's socio-economic and political progress. Peace and security, inflation, among others, are the major socio-economic and political topics in which the party talked about. The newly elected Vice President of the party, Adam Farah, cited efforts to complete delayed national projects and launch other large-scale projects for bringing about economic progress in the nation. He also said his party will strive efforts for the success of the national dialogue.
Nationwide problems cannot be solved by a party alone. Effectively fulfill our role as a leading party to make the inclusive national consultation to be successful and achieve its goals, provide the necessary support from the government for the success of the consultation, and provide assistance by not interfering. It was stated at the conference that we must continue to abide by the rules and regulations of the government so that others do not disrupt the consultation process, and that we as a government play our part in the success of the overall national consultation.
እንደ ፓርቲ መወጣት የሚገባን ኃላፊነት መወጣት እንዳለብን ታይቷል።
Demeke Mekonnen, another vice president of the party, said the party is working on a clear roadmap to solve the problems encountered in every change process. Demeke said Ethiopia, which has a long history of socialization, has lost a lot of things due to its developmental political process.
የፖለቲካ ባህላችንና ስሪታችን በመጠፋፋት ላይ የተመሰረተ
Our political culture and fashion is based on extinction. Assuming that the old system was completely irrelevant, the successor will try to recreate a new history. Ethiopian politics has paid a heavy price for this process of demolition and destruction. The political version of this approach and legacy we will pass on to our children should be to address the challenges of the day and continue to do better. The party believes that demolition will ruin history.
አፍርሰን እየሰራን ረጅም ታሪክ እና እጅግ ብዙ እድሎችን እያመከነን ቆይተናል የሚል ትልቅ እሳቤ አለው።
Insecurity, theft and service delivery are said to be among the main challenges which the party has thoroughly reviewed. The party thus pledged to rehabilitate people displaced by the war.
Hey everybody, behind me are the Adwa Mountains. If you've never heard of them, don't worry about it, but look it up.
We just climbed to the top of a very small hill, felt like a mountain, to go see the best viewpoint of the battle site. I am slightly out of breath, I don't know if you can tell, and might have on improper shoes.
Welcome back. You're watching Addis News Hour. There is no any other country which the national dialogue is more important than for Ethiopia nowadays, long-served diplomat Ambassador Tiruneh Zena said. In an exclusive interview with Addis Media Network, Ambassador Tiruneh Zena suggested that comprehensive national dialogue is more significant to Ethiopia in a bridge to bringing forward lasting peace and stability in the country. The ambassador further added that Ethiopian government should be engaged into solving the ever-heightened economic inflations in the country. Tigist Arnesa has more.
First, addressing the dire need for a comprehensive dialogue in Ethiopia and its utmost importance for Ethiopian citizens, especially this time, into bringing forward a lasting peace and stability in the country, a long-time served diplomat Ambassador Tiruneh Zena said.
Let alone a country like Ethiopia with 80 million ethnic group, even a country like China, whose population consists of 90% one nationality, they discuss, they carry out national dialogue. Because people always have difference. But when they have historical difference, when they have cultural difference, that difference magnifies. So dialogue from time to time, continuous dialogue, to sort out the problems that exist, to sort out the problems that are causing, problems, including war in our country, is very much important. There is, if you ask me, there is no other country to whom national dialogue at this time is important like it is.
The ambassador also noted that the commission which has been formed and ratified by the House of People's Representatives must be neutral from any political stand and ready to bring solution to the historically prolonged conflicts in Ethiopia, and else history remembers it as a failure.
To me, there are no other alternative except dialogue. And for dialogue, what we need is a commission which is neutral, a commission which doesn't have its own political thinking, which can reconcile, which can bring, different political actors together and can create a consensus. This is a big responsibility, not an easy responsibility. But the Ethiopian people has bestowed this is a responsibility on the shoulder of the Commission. They should be ready to carry out this responsibility. If they fail, history will remember them as failure.
The long-time served Ambassador Tiruneh calls on the National Dialogue Commission to discharge due responsibility and include all Ethiopians from every walk of life in the ongoing comprehensive national dialogue in a bid for lasting peace in the country.
We should not be listening to others, foreigners. Probably they may advise you, they may give you money, but the idea must develop within Ethiopia. You should be listening to your peasants, to the peasants. You should be listening to the youth. You should be listening to the women. You should be working to make every actor in Ethiopia inclusive. You should make sure that every voice is heard in the national dialogue. This is what the commissioners must be doing, and they must be genuine. They must be open. They must love their country. This is not an appointment. This is something on which the national existence depends.
The ambassador further added that Ethiopian government should be engaged into solving the ever-heightened economic inflations in the country so that economically destitute citizens will be able to live in peace.
In business news, Ethiopian Agriculture Research Institute launched a new pilot project that will benefit over 40,000 barley growing farmers across the country. The project is highly anticipated for overcoming the shortage of barley production supply of the nation. Habtam Washagre tells you more.
2 years, this value chain has become...
Ethiopian Agriculture Research Institute launched a pilot project with an outlay of over 765,000 euros to benefit more than 40,000 barley growing farmers. The demand for barley products suggests due to the expansion of malt processing industries is ever soaring price. The country is thus intended to boost its productivity by implementing various agricultural policies. Deputy Director General of Ethiopian Agriculture Research Institute, Deriba Galati, said the pilot project is critical to undertake malt research activities and increase the productivity of farmers by 20%.
አሁን እዚህ ወደ 3 ፕራይቬት ማልት ካምፓኒስ አሉ
We have 3 malt private companies in this pilot project in Gondar, Asella and Bore Malt. These all 3 private companies can use research-based malt outputs. Our experts are also engaged to create favorable atmosphere to companies. If we have effective research activities, we will adopt and expand it into other regions.
Director of German Technical Cooperation, Adriana Rudiger, for her part expressed GTZ's commitment to support Ethiopia's development endeavors in various fields.
As you all know, in the highlands of Ethiopia, barley is grown. It's a very suitable environment, one of the few places on the continent where barley is grown. And actually, barley has been a crop, an important food security crop in the country for centuries and millennia.
The objective of the project is to improve the production and quality of barley. Small-scale farmers are said to be receiving special barley seeds for better production. 50% of the entire project will be financed by German Technical Cooperation.
A delegation consisting of the Finance State Minister of Ethiopia, Semereta Soaso, and Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of the Netherlands in Addis Ababa, Thies Woodstrom, has visited Dutch projects working in the horticulture and dairy sector. During the visit, Semereta stated that the Netherlands is delivering continued support to Ethiopia to enhance the dairy and horticulture sectors, adding many Ethiopians are benefiting from the assistance. Semereta briefed the delegation on activities being undertaken to tackle bottlenecks affecting businesses of small and medium-level enterprises engaged in the agro-industry sector. She also reiterated government's continued support to new and existing enterprises and investors engaged in agro-industrial sectors in line with efforts underway to ensure food security in the country. Semereta also noted that the government is working hard to create conducive environment for investors in the sector. The state minister further stressed the need to bolster cooperation between Ethiopia and the Netherlands in the agriculture sector. Ethiopia and the Netherlands have a long-standing and good relationship in agricultural development and investment areas. Turkey remains committed to bolster trade and investment cooperation with Ethiopia. Deputy Chairman for Foreign Relations of the Justice and Development Party of Turkey, Fevzi Sanverdi, talked to ETV that his country wants to amplify cooperation with Ethiopia in areas of defense, economy and political areas. Alula Teklamariam presents the following story.
Being one of the top 3 contributors of foreign direct investments to Ethiopia, Turkey has been one of the major players for the growth of the textile sector inside the country's industrial parks. Taking part in the first ever General Assembly of the ruling Prosperity Party, Deputy Chairman for the Foreign Relations of the Justice and Development Party of Turkey, Fezi Sanverdi, said Turkey wants to beef up cooperation with Ethiopia in various areas.
When we look at our relations, there are 100 reasons that would unify us and not one that would separate us when we look at the two peoples of Ethiopia and Turkey. On the political scene, on the economic scene, on the humanitarian scene, this is valid for all of those things. But what we have to do is work both sides. It cannot be one side, it has to be both sides. It's because we need each other. We both need each other. We can both be stronger together. So what we have to do is work hand in hand and make sure that we both give the effort that is needed to take these relations of 126 years even further ahead.
Talking to ETV, the Deputy Chairman said Turkish investors will remain committed to expand their investment activities, regardless of some sort of challenges facing the Turkish investors. He further calls upon the Ethiopian government to address those challenges meant to galvanize Ethiopia's economy.
So if I have one request from the government, it would be that the government helps these private sector companies in overcoming their problems. Because at the end of the day, we have to remember that this Turkish investment, all of these companies, they are making sure that the Ethiopian economy wins. They export, they produce, they employ. So if we get rid of these bureaucratic impediments in front of these companies, they will thrive and make Ethiopia much richer.
Reports indicate that Ankara's investments to Ethiopia have increased to $2.5 billion. Currently, Ethiopia and Turkey have reached a level of strategic friendship and renewing their agreements in various areas.
And now take a look at the latest foreign exchange rates.
Welcome to Freetown. My name is Lansana Mansare, commonly called Bami Boy. I am a filmmaker. I am based in Freetown. I run a media collective called the Freetown Media Center. Freetown is my home.
The capital and largest city of Sierra Leone, Freetown, is a major port city along the coastline of the Atlantic Ocean. Around 1 million people call this city home.
In Freetown, you find different people from more than 12 ethnic groups that we have all living in this space.
The area around Freetown was settled in 1787 by freed slaves. It became a melting pot for liberated African and Caribbean settlers. The cotton tree in the city center reflects Freetown's unique history.
After the abolition of slavery, freed slaves from the Nova Scotia settled here, what we now know as Freetown, and that cotton tree right there was the place where, they had their services.
Freetown is Sierra Leone's financial hub. The city's economy revolves largely around its natural harbor, Deepwater Quay, the biggest in Africa. Since making the switch to a filmmaking career, Lansana Mansare's new workplace looks very different. One of his documentaries, a film about the Ebola outbreak in Sierra Leone, was nominated for an Emmy Award in 2019. It was the first ever West African film to receive this accolade.
Here is my studio. I work from here. I spend a lot of time here working. From morning sometimes to night, I'm just editing, films and, recording sound also. So I spend a lot of time in here.
Lansana Mansaray is certain he will never run out of stories in a city like Freetown.
Much love from Freetown.
Welcome back again from across Africa. Sudanese are protesting in the March of the Detainees. They are calling for the release of all detainees in jail cells. There are people who have been detained for months or a long time without a charge. Thousands of protesters took to the streets of the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, on Monday to denounce the October military coup that plunged the country into further turmoil. Security forces fired tear gas canisters towards the anti-coup protesters. Some of the demonstrators picked up the canisters and hurled them back at security forces. Monday's rally was the latest in a series of protests over the military takeover that removed the civilian-led transitional government. Take a look at this.
Today we are protesting in the March of the Detainees. We are calling for the release of all detainees in jail cells across the country. There are people who have been detained for months or a very long time without charge, and that's illegal. We're not just calling for the release of detainees, we are also calling for the release of our nation by denouncing the coup and all of the events that followed the coup, from arrest to killings.
Sudan has been on a fragile path to democracy since a popular uprising forced the military to remove al-Bashir and his Islamist government back in April 2019.